For a traditional Turkish dish, stuffed grape leaves with meat, here are the ingredients we need. Our main ingredient is brined grape leaves. These should be rinsed well to remove excess salt. The star of our filling is braised beef, which adds a rich aroma and hearty flavor to the dish. The base of our filling consists of rice and bulgur. Rice gives the stuffing a soft texture, while bulgur adds a slight chewiness. For depth of flavor, we use tomato and red pepper paste, and for a well-balanced taste, we add olive oil, lemon juice, a pinch of sugar, and salt. One of the key ingredients is onion. Finely chopped onions enhance both the flavor and texture of the stuffing. For seasoning, we use black pepper and dried mint. The mint adds a refreshing touch, while black pepper brings a subtle warmth. As a final touch, we include fresh tomatoes and garlic to elevate the taste. Tomatoes add a slight tanginess, while garlic deepens the overall aroma. With all these ingredients, we're ready to make a delicious and perfectly balanced stuffed grape leaves dish. Now we're starting to prepare the filling for our stuffed grape leaves with meat. First, we take the braised beef and chop it as finely as possible with a sharp knife. The key here is to ensure that the meat blends well into the filling. The smaller we chop it, the better the texture will be when eating the stuffed grape leaves. If the pieces are too large, it will be harder to roll and may not cook evenly. Next, we prepare the onion. You can either finely chop it with a knife or use a food processor to turn it into a puree. If you're chopping by hand, make sure the pieces are as small as possible so they don't stand out in the filling. If using a food processor, avoid over-processing as we don't want it to become too watery. A slightly thick onion paste is just right. Now, let's move on to the cooking process. We heat up olive oil and vegetable oil in a pot over medium heat. Once the oil is hot, we add the chopped onions and saute them well. It's important to stir continuously to ensure they cook evenly without burning. When the onions turn slightly golden, we add the finely chopped braised beef and continue to stir, allowing the flavors to meld together. Next, it's time for the rice and bulgur. We take the soaked and drained rice and bulgur and add them to the pot. Here, we must ensure the rice is well rinsed to remove excess starch. Otherwise, the filling might become sticky. After adding them, we stir well, allowing them to absorb the oil and blend smoothly with the other ingredients. We continue sautéing for a few more minutes. Now we add tomato paste and red pepper paste and mix everything well. This step is crucial because if the paste isn't properly cooked, it can leave a raw, tangy taste in the filling. As the paste cooks, its aroma intensifies, giving the mixture a rich depth of flavor. Now, we season the mixture with salt, black pepper, dried mint, a small amount of sugar, grated tomatoes, and crushed garlic. The sugar is just a subtle touch to balance the flavors. We stir everything thoroughly to ensure the spices and ingredients are well incorporated. At this stage, we add only half of the water. The reason for this is that we don't want the filling to be fully cooked yet. Instead, we just want the rice to soften slightly. Cooking it too much at this stage would result in a mushy filling, making it difficult to roll the grape leaves tightly. Now, our filling is semi-cooked. We turn off the heat and let it rest for a while. Once it has cooled slightly, we are ready to start rolling our grape leaves. Brined grape leaves and cooling the filling. Now we are preparing our brined grape leaves. These leaves are preserved in salty water, allowing them to be stored for a long time. This method increases their durability, but to remove excess salt, they need to be washed properly. We place the leaves in a strainer and rinse them thoroughly with plenty of water. Then, we soak them in lukewarm water for about 20 to 30 minutes to help remove the excess salt. If the leaves are still too salty, we can change the water and soak them again. This step is crucial because too much salt can overpower the flavor of the stuffed grape leaves. Now that our filling is ready, we move on to the cooling stage. After removing the filling from the heat, we must let it cool completely. If we try to roll the grape leaves with hot filling, the leaves may soften too much and tear while wrapping. Additionally, the heat can weaken the structure of the leaves, making them harder to work with. While the filling is cooling, we occasionally stir it to allow air to circulate. This prevents the ingredients from sticking together and keeps the mixture light and well textured. Once the filling is cooled down, we are ready to start rolling our grape leaves. Preparing the pot and different types of stuffed leaves. Now we are preparing our cooking pot. To prevent the stuffed leaves from burning at the bottom and to add extra flavor, we place sliced carrots and leek leaves at the base of the pot. The carrots give a slight sweetness as they cook, while the leek leaves create a protective layer, preventing the stuffed leaves from sticking to the pot. This method also enhances the overall taste of the dish. Now we move on to one of the most important steps, rolling the stuffed leaves by hand. We carefully open each grape leaf, place a suitable amount of filling inside, and roll it tightly. If we roll them too tightly, the rice may expand during cooking and tear the leaves. If they're too loose, they might fall apart. The key is to maintain a balanced tightness, not too firm, not too loose. At this point, let's talk about some different variations of stuffed leaves. The most common type is made with grape leaves, but in some regions, people also use cherry leaves. Cherry leaves add a slightly tangy flavor, which pairs well with meat-based fillings. Additionally, some recipes include raisins and pine nuts inside the stuffing. This is a technique that dates back to Ottoman cuisine, where sweet and savory flavors were combined for a rich and balanced taste. Every region has its unique version of stuffed leaves, but the fundamental principle remains the same. Thin, carefully rolled leaves combined with a flavorful filling create a perfect dish. Now that our stuffed leaves are ready, we can move on to the cooking stage. Now we move on to the cooking stage of our stuffed grape leaves. This step is crucial for enhancing the flavors. First, we drizzle olive oil over the stuffed leaves. The oil helps soften the leaves and allows the flavors to blend together. Next, we add lemon juice, which gives the stuffed leaves a light tangy flavor that balances the richness of the dish. Then we add crushed garlic, salt, and sugar to complete the seasoning. The garlic deepens the aroma, while the salt and sugar create a harmonious balance of flavors. Now we add boiling water, equal to the amount of half the water we added earlier, just enough to cover the stuffed leaves. This water will ensure the leaves soften during cooking and the filling will cook thoroughly. Afterward, we cover the pot and let it simmer on low heat. We cook the stuffed leaves for 45 minutes to 1 hour, allowing the filling to become tender and fully cooked. Once the cooking time is complete, we carefully remove the stuffed grape leaves from the pot. Before serving, we drizzle a bit more olive oil over them and garnish with lemon slices for a beautiful presentation. Not only does this add visual appeal, but it also enhances the flavor. Our stuffed grape leaves are now ready to serve, hot and delicious. Thank you for following along with this recipe. We hope you enjoyed it, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.